Good morning. This is Shirley Ross, your Close to My Heart consultant, and welcome to Design Space Friday. Today I'm going to share with you how to create a box. The box I was going to create for you is not completed. I haven't given the gifts out yet, so I don't want to share the picture of it until after the gift is given. So I'm going to share with you a pop-up box card that I created on the 246 card technique idea. So I'm going to slide this one out of the way so we can get started. And the first thing I'm going to do is bring in a shape, a square. We're going to unlock the proportional. We are going to put it at 8.5 and 5.5. I like my cards to fit in a 4 1/4 by 5.5 A2 envelope. So I do tend to make my cards that size. So we're going to do put it at 1 and 1. And for those who follow me, I put it there because we're going to be positioning some score lines and cut lines. So I want to make sure that they are exactly where I need them to be. So we're going to make it white, this rectangle, so that you can see it better. And now we're going to bring in a score line, and I'll close the shapes because we'll use this several times. So I'm going to do a score line and a cut line, several of them. So I am going to duplicate the score line 2 times. This one I'm going to slide out of the way and use it in a few minutes. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to make this a cut line. To do that, you just have to come up here to the line type and click cut versus score, and you'll see it becomes a solid line. And now we're going to put that in the first, let's make it the size we need it to be. I want the fold over part to be shorter than the bottom of the box. So we are going to make this 2.5 inches long. And then we are going to place it at, and of course I'm going to make sure, I'm going to try to get this right the first time. So we're going to place it at 3, we did, which is, you'll see it's 2 inches over. We always add an inch because I put it an inch over. And then we're going to put it at 1. So now we have our first cut line in place. And then we're going to bring the score line, and 5.5 minus 2.5 leaves you 3. And we are going to place this one also at 2, but we're going to put it at 3.5. I'm sorry, 3, not 2, sorry, 3. So now you have a score line at the bottom and a cut line at the top. This will be the bottom of your pop-up box card, and this will be the top of it. So let's duplicate that and remove it. It's real easy now. We just have to move it across. So we'll put it at 5 and 3.5. And we'll duplicate again. And we'll put this one at 7 and 3.5. So now we have all our score lines going across. Now let's add our cut lines. So let's duplicate that one, and we will put it at 5 and 1, and we will duplicate it, and we will put this one at 7 and 1. So now we have all of these cut lines going across. Now we're going to do one more. We're going to duplicate this one more time, and this one we are going to make, we are only going to make it small, like the ones at the bottom, and that is, I'm sorry, tall, like the ones at the bottom. And I have to make sure I get it right. It's 3, and we are going to put it, we're going to put it at the bottom, but a 1/2 inch. So we're going to put it at 9, and we are going to put it at 3.5, and that will be the score line on the fold. And I'll share that with you here in a moment on how we do that. But let's do our score line that's going to go across. And this one, we are actually going to turn it 90 degrees so it will lay flat. And we are going to make it not the full length, but portion, because we're going to not do the 8.5. We're just going to make it 8 inches. And then we are going to put it at 1 and we are going to put it at 3.5. So now you have your fold line that folds across the whole card. These will all cut, so these will fold down over, and now we're going to play with this piece. So what we're going to do is bring in a new shape. We are going to unlock it, and we are going to make it a 1/2 inch wide. And I hit my backspace, and that always makes it disappear. So we'll just bring it in again. And I'm going to close that so you can see it better. So I close the shapes and unlock. And I won't use the backspace before I get in the spot I need to be. It's going to be 0.5 because we only wanted a 1/2 inch. And it's only going to be as tall as this top portion that we're doing. So we're going to make that 2.5. All right, and you see it fits right in there, but we want to move it to the position 9. So now what we'll do is, I haven't attached any of the score lines or the cut lines because I want to be able to slice. So we're going to hold the shift key and select the box. So now we should have both the box and the rectangle. So we'll do slice, and we'll slice this out. All right, and then we'll arrange this to the back so that you can see. So now we have this. Now, what I like to do is to add a little bit of an angle on the corners. So we will bring in a rectangle. Sorry, we'll bring in a triangle, and we'll slide it over. I am going to turn it by hand. I'm going to do it that way. Try to get it straight. That looks pretty good. All right, what I want to do is I want to make it, unlock that. Well, let's see what happens if I don't unlock it. Let's just make it 0.5. That's pretty good. And should have turned it the other way. There we go. And we got it straight, pretty straight. Now we're going to slide it into here. All right, we're going to make sure it's at 9. And we're going to make sure it's at 3.5. Oh, sorry. We don't want it at 3.5 because that, sorry. So we'll put it at 3.25 because we want it in the center. And so then we'll hold the shift key. Let's go ahead and duplicate that. And we'll go ahead and put this one at the bottom so that we'll be ready to cut it. We won't select both of them because remember, you can't cut them both. So we'll put it at 6.25, and that'll put it in the half. That's just a half, totally in the center of that triangle. So we can only pick one and the box at a time. We're going to slice that one out. And remember, you need to delete all the little parts. There we are. And then we'll select that one and hold the shift key and select the other triangle. I can do it from over here and then do slice. And then let's get rid of all the other parts. Let's make sure we just get, let's slide that to the back so we don't accidentally, if you see that you've got the big piece rectangle, then you can send it to the back so you can just grab these little ones and just keep deleting until all the pieces are gone. All right, that should be, I didn't have it perfectly, so undo is your friend. So let's undo it. It must have moved on me a little bit when I was getting ready. Plus there's also been a change. We want to get to undo it back until it gets to the to where it did the slice on that one. All right. Excuse me. And let's arrange it to the back. Okay, that changed in size just a little bit. So let us take it back. Sorry, I keep hitting that back button before I'm actually in there. So let me bring it back, sorry. So what happens when I travel? We won't unlock, we'll just take it back to 0.5. and then it should have moved it back up. It's just to be on the safe side. I'm just gonna make it a little bit bigger by holding this. I just want to make sure it gets out of cuts the whole thing. All right, so we'll hold the shift key and select the rectangle and the triangle, slice it out. Yeah, that time we got it all. All right. Sometimes you got to play with it to get it the way you want. There you go. So let's send it to the back. So now you have a score line here. I'll move it up so you can see. The score line here. Score line goes across the whole card. Score lines on the bottom, and then cut lines. So this is totally ready. And now what you want to do is select all of it. So I'm going to just do the drag option so I can come over this way. Sorry about that. And that will select everything here. So then we can attach. You want to attach so that everything happens. So now when it gets ready, it will score first, and then it will cut, and your box is ready. Now, when you do a pop-up box, you also have the small pieces that go inside. You do them the same way. Excuse me. It's off a little bit. I've noticed lately that when I'm coming back in and bringing in my projects, things have moved around a little bit. But this is going to fit inside of this 2-inch. So I make it 3 inches, and then I put a score line at the 1/2 inch on each side. Those flaps will fold over and be stuck to the edges of the box on the inside, and that's what you attach the pop-up items to on the outside. And I shared, or I might not have shared, I have hidden a lot of the pieces here, and these will be the pieces that go inside. So if you want to cut out pattern paper to fit inside of your to decorate the outside of your pop-up box, so you would just create one. These are actually 2 inches by 3.5. So if you wanted to do it on the quarter, like I do a lot of times, so you know it's 2 inches, so you could do 1 3/4, and then you could make it 2 2/4, and then that piece would fit in here with the quarter. Now, once you have all the pieces cut out, this one is a separate file that I have created. This one has all the decorative outside pieces ready. This is also the back piece that will go here for your sentiment. If you want, you can bring in images that will pop out of the box right here in Design Space. So you can go ahead and bring in, if it's a birthday card, candles, a birthday cake, a happy birthday sentiment, whatever you want. And then you can actually size it so you can see how it will look with the card. So I hope you've enjoyed the Design Space Friday edition pop-up box card, and I will see you next Friday. This is Shirley Ross of Close to My Heart Consulting.